It's weird because people don't believe in like continuous cycle or reincarnation. And so when you pop back out and when you can resume your save file, they're going to wonder where you got your information from. Bro, I've been working on this for lifetimes. This is not something that just happened right now. I've been working on this for a long time. And I leave notes in different places. People, you don't get when you go to the other side, you have more control over life than you think. And because you don't necessarily understand the connective piece, the relative piece, the role of the observer, the role of the one that touches, the role of the one that hears, you don't understand their roles and how they relate to each other, then you might not necessarily get what I'm about to say. The humanity needs to progress itself, and it gets to do so by choice. It does so through resonance. So, and it always has. So when you think of like the 100th monkey effect, once one person does it, it resonates to another, and it keeps bouncing off until you have an overall, when it's aggregated enough mass, then it forms. People around the world are activating higher levels of perception and reaching certain thresholds, and have done so for a long time. But it's reverberated back to America, and now we're getting to the point where we have the ability to move to the next level of science. The current level of science isn't ever going to be able to solve what is going on. They're not using the correct tools. But when you talk to science and you tell them this, they think they know. Well, if you go to any scientific person ever right now, anyone who's been a scientist, they'll tell you that they're in a crisis right now. They can't reproduce information. Things that they thought were working one way aren't working another way, and it's not really a good look. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a good look for them right now. And this is because there's people on the planet like myself who have access to information that explains what they can't explain, but it does so a different way. And when you explain it a different way to someone who's been going down the same road for 30, 40, 50 years, they have huge sunken cost fallacies, and they're going to immediately disagree with you or tell you that they're wrong. Luckily for me, I don't do science. I play basketball. I hoop, and I'm learning how to pick up a racket and apply the principles to the sport. And so I don't care about science. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally look at y'all like some nerds who don't understand what you're doing. And it's weird that somebody from the outside field has to come in, but that's usually my job. That's usually how it works anyway, right? That's usually how it works. You know, you look at it adjacently, you look at it from maybe a parallel or a perpendicular perspective, and you realize that because people have an egoic intention and are scared of operating by themselves and need groups, that once people operate in groups, they're going to start fighting, but they need the group to maintain themselves. So they're actually not even doing science anymore, and they're extremely biased. And that's what goes on constantly. One of my, I won't say favorite, because I don't really like watching this shit, but like when I do look at science talks and whatever, I think there's this dude named Kurt Jumongol or something like that. And I don't mean to mispronounce his name, but he's got a lot of interesting people on his podcast. And there are a few people who are starting to understand that, like, you can't explain it the way that you're trying to explain it. You have to explain it a different way. But the way in which you need to explain it is very simple. And people can't deal with simplicity. You're fat because you can't do the same thing every day, because every day is different. So for you to do the same thing every day, you're actually doing a different thing every day, but you don't know that. And there's this like redundant clause that your ego doesn't want you to work on. You feel like if you wake up and do the same thing every day, you know what I'm saying? But you end up doing that anyway, going to work, going to school, you know what I'm saying? So you might as well learn how to train and track your progress yourself so that you can go from one place to the other. That's how a train works. It's actually quite simple. The movement of life is based on resonance. The sun gives us the resonant keys, so it tells you what key you can operate in. From there, you can know which notes work better with which keys. That makes sense? So when you're in the key of F sharp, certain notes will work better, quote unquote, more harmonically than other notes. Now you can play whatever you want, and people gonna play whatever they want because y'all gonna do what y'all gonna do. But if you, for anybody who has felt the resonance through a drug, through sex, through love, through a conversation, through a movie, through an experience, through being still, there's a lot of ways to feel it. Once you feel it, it's that becomes the drug. The pathway to get there, the music, the sex, the drug, whatever the pathway is, you got to take the path, and that path gets beaten up. Y'all know this in neuroscience, neural pathways and overstimulation and learning how to rest so that you can buff the pathway and it can repair itself. So the whole thing, you know how it works. You know how it works. It's just that you don't understand how resonance works because you want to touch it. And it's not that you can't, it's not that resonance is intangible. It's just, it's incorrect to approach resonance from the particle view of things. And that's what science does, because that's what it means to operate from the ego or the individual. So too many people put their name on things that they're doing and make themselves the import, as opposed to making the subject or what they're studying be the object of importance. And that is generally why people can't get it, because the assumption of the conditions are incorrect. You assume every day is the same. It's not. The light is different every day. I don't know how easier it is to say it to you, to your face. If you train your eyes and you train your skin, you can feel that the light of the day is not the same every day. It's not the same. And you can see what light you're on based on the moon. And if you missed the day, then look at the night so you know which one is coming next. It's not hard. It's not hard. You just don't give a fuck. And you think you're gonna do a better job than what's already been done. You niggas are in the fucking shadow of some motherfucking geniuses. Y'all not gonna catch up, but it's cool. Y'all can keep thinking you're gonna catch up, but you're not gonna catch up. But you can keep toying around in the wake and toying around in the scraps. It's cool. I think I said everything I need to say. Peace, love. I'll see y'all later.